GB News issues Donald Trump, breaking news, as star shares, worrying, update. Eamonn Holmes and Ann Diamond shared a message about US President Donald Trump on GB News. GB News was interrupted as they announced a clash of the titans between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. The two businessmen have seemingly had a public falling out after Musk accused the US president of being linked to Jeffrey Epstein in a scathing tweet, as the former co-workers are now at war. US political analyst Eric Ham was welcomed onto the show, hosted by Eamonn Holmes and Ann Diamond, as he shared his views on the spat. Even Stevie Wonder could have seen this fallout coming, he joked. However, I think there are those who are surprised that it was Elon Musk that not only threw the first punch, but also the second, the third and the fourth. And he has continued to do so. I think what that speaks to is just the massive reach that he has. Not only with his enormous wealth but with the companies that he runs and how instrumental and influential they are to the United States and beyond. He added, "This is definitely a clash of the titans and there will be no winners in this fight, only losers. We're talking about the leader of the free world versus the most wealthiest man in the world. There is clearly no weapons spared and nothing left unturned in terms of how far they are willing to go to tear each other down." And then cut in as she said, "It is actually serious." The news presenter added, "I mean, these people are conducting world politics. When you think of the other guy in Russia, it makes your blood run cold. These are the people that are running our lives, which worries me. Because, for instance, the latest thing is that Musk has threatened to actually stop complete work at his spacecraft empire, which is the only means at the moment for America to get into space. And there are astronauts up there at the International Space Station who could be stranded if he, like a toddler, has a tantrum and says, 'Well, I'm not flying my spacecraft anymore.' I mean, this is serious stuff, isn't it?" Eric reassured Ann's worries as he explained that the US White House could step in and take control of SpaceX, if needed, via the Defense Act. He added, "Already we are beginning to see how impactful this fight is, not only for each man and for the politics of the United States, but so far beyond that as well." Eamonn Holmes inundated with support as GB News announces major shakeup. Eamonn Holmes was back on TV screens this morning as it was revealed there was a major presenting shakeup for the longtime star. Eamonn Holmes was inundated with support from fans after he revealed a major shakeup to the usual presenting format on GB News. The 65-year-old is usually seen behind the desk with his co-star Ellie Costello, but he revealed there would be a new face on Friday, June 6. Taking to X, formerly Twitter, he shared a photo of himself and Ann Diamond, and wrote, "TVAM meets GMTV this morning on GB News. Hope you can join Ann and me between 6 and 9:30 a.m. The Northern Irish presenter was inundated with support over the surprise update, with many rushing to shower praise on the two. One user penned, "Loved seeing you and Ann together this morning on GB News, such a heartwarming TVAM and GMTV reunion that brought back so many memories." Another person added, "What a lovely wake-up surprise this morning to see the dream team of Eamonn and Ann on." Someone else gushed, "You are both so good together presenting X." Eamonn and Ann appeared in great spirits as they presented the show, discussing the recent furor between US President Donald Trump and Elon Musk, D-Day remembrance celebrations and Labour's surprising win in Scotland. Viewers were thrilled to see Eamonn looking well after his recent ill health. The star revealed on Instagram on Friday, May 2, that he had been taken to hospital in an ambulance after falling in his bathroom. Alongside a picture taken inside the ambulance, the post's caption read, "An unexpected journey this morning, bit of a fall on the bathroom floor. Gosh, it hurts. Thank you, ambulance crew." Eamonn had previously shared that he was suffering from severe back pain and had mentioned feeling like he's living on borrowed time, given that his father passed away from a heart attack at 65. The 65-year-old star has greatly struggled with his mobility over the last few years. Eamonn's chronic condition began in 2021, which forced him to use a stick to help him walk. The pain was caused by a dislocated pelvis, which later resulted in him sustaining 3 slipped discs. Eamonn then underwent spinal surgery in 2022 to address the pain. While recovering from the surgery, the presenter fell down the stairs at his home in Weybridge and broke his shoulder, leading to another spine and neck procedure. Eamonn Holmes, 65, admits, "I want to shake people," as he shares frustration with younger generation. "It's important." The presenter shared his bewilderment over sporting legends in younger generations. Eamonn Holmes has shared a particular generational pattern that makes him want to shake people. The GB News breakfast fan favorite, 65, reflected on the athletes he idolizes as he talked about younger people being unaware of their legendary achievements. The remarks came while Eamonn and fellow Breakfast regular Paul Coit interviewed Olympics legend Sally Gunnell for the latest episode of their podcast, Things We Like with Eamonn and Paul. I'm just looking at your record here. In the 2-year period between 92 and 94, you won every international event that was open to you, Eamonn said to Sally. Listing off the incredible achievements, he continued, Olympics Games, World Championship, European Championship, Commonwealth Games, Goodwill Games, IAAF World Cup and European Cup, goodness me. Breaking the British European and world record, you are the only female British athlete to have won all 4 major world, European, and Commonwealth titles there, and I could go on and on and on with that. The People's Channel star explained how he is baffled to think recording breaking stars go on to live normally as he commented, but I just think it's important. I spent some time with Daley Thompson recently and it was like he just walked around and people kept passing him by and I kept thinking, do you realize this guy may have been the greatest athlete, male athlete, there's ever been? I sort of wanted to shake people and tell them, and Daley is older and slightly and very quiet and all that sort of thing, but how, when you've got all those titles, those accolades, it's just incredible. How do you live with that? Do you just forget that you won those? Laughing, Gunnell, 58, replied, I feel sometimes as though it's happened to somebody else, it is weird. And I don't know, I think when you're a parent and you've got kids. I've got 3 boys and they're all really sporty and you're just, mum. And if I ever get to show that race and whatever else, it does feel like it's an out-of-body experience, as though it's happened to somebody else. Almost the day you stop, you can't do any of that, you can hardly get over a hurdle, you know. You're 31, and the whole thing just stops and goes. You do have to sometimes remind yourself. Yeah, it's a weird thing really, because you don't change as a person. Is it hard to do, Sally? Asked Paul, pointing out, I've heard before that after a successful Olympics, athletes tend to have a dip, like it's 4 years away, it's all finished. You have to come back down, Gunnell agreed, adding, any major championships, you're on a high. I've never taken drugs, but I'm sure it's the same sort of thing. You're on cloud 9, you're floating around, you have to come back down. I think I had great people around me, family and lots of friends outside of the sport, I think that really helped. Things We Like with Eamonn and Paul is available to download and subscribe to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and all major platforms. New episodes are released every week.